We need these people to feel shame. I don't think they will feel shame. The reason why they will not feel shame is because they have a hug box on Twitter. One of the major social media platforms is now officially a safe space for these types of people. Imagine the echo chamber that LSF creates, right? I'm going to use an example. Now imagine if that was one of the major websites. One of the major social medias is just a hug box of a similar similar style, but for some of the worst Nazis you've ever seen. And the anime Nazi PFP with this banger, yeah, it's always shit like this. Not everyone you don't agree with is a Nazi. Must suck having these sensitivity panic attacks. You literally have a Nazi PFP. Your PFP is a lolly Nazi. Meanwhile, speaking of Germany, why is there such a negative reaction from some about AFD? They keep saying far right, but the policies of AFD that I've read about don't sound extremist. Maybe I'm missing something. Why the does this stupid Nazi follow me? This is always, oh my god. The AFD is the most popular party among the German youth. For the first time in years, the new generation is confronted with the reality that the establishment has failed us. Now they're scared. The future of Germany lies in the hands of our patriotic youth and the AFD. Why is AFD? AFD Alternative for Deutschland is basically a Nazi party within the confines of a country where it's illegal to be a Nazi openly. Here are some of the many comments from AFD people. The big problem is that Hitler is portrayed as an absolute evil, says Björn Höcke from the AFD. Burning refugee homes are not an act of aggression, says Sandra Herschel from the AFD. We do not differ from the NPD in terms of content, says Dubravko Mandic. It's just rebranded. They have to rebrand. That's why, because they can't fly the swastika because it's still illegal in Germany. So they'll fly the Wehrmacht flag. Here's one of their ads. Germany's national... By the way, this is AF Post, America First Post. Beckmann wählen. Für eine Landeshauptstadt auf die man stolz sein kann. Stolzmonat. The tears. Homosexuals in prison. We should do that in Germany as well. Andreas Gellman, AFD. I would not condemn anyone who sets fire to an inhabited asylum home. Marcel Grauf. Aid to Dr. Christina Baum, AFD. Und Heine Möst, AFD. How are bad at German? You're Turk, Lamau? Yes, exactly. I'm Turkish. Of course, this dude found the most racist way to describe AFD. AFD leaders have called for the criminalization of homosexuality, the banning of offensive literature like the books of Salman Rushdie, use Nazi slogans, claim Poland started World War II and more. They are not just anti-immigration party, they're the white Sharia party. The white Sharia party? What do you mean white Sharia party? I don't know why, Germans are so funny, bro. They're yeah, the type of extremist that you see here is just like a Muslim, right? It's so funny. It's no, man, it's exactly the type of racism that Germany was very famous at. You don't have to point to Muslims in that situation. That's very weird. Björn Höcke literally used to write under the pseudonym Landolf Ladig for the neo-Nazi NPD. You may have covered the secret hotel meetings a few months back with out and about blood and soil Nazis and multimillionaires where they conspired to expel millions of immigrants, including some naturalized Germans from Germany. Yes, that was the I can't remember if that was the first or the second plot, because there was two different plots that were uncovered. There was one plot that was uncovered that was a laughable monarchist, and the other plot was Germany's pretty bad problem with their own version of Atomwaffen. Atomwaffen, for those of you who don't know, is a Nazi group that specifically operates within the U.S. armed forces. They regularly get caught trying to blow up shit, purchasing explosives from a federal agent because they want to go and blow up a power line or whatever. Germany had a massive problem in their special forces with actual Nazis within their special forces. They had to disband an entire unit, that was straight up Nazis, which, no. Atomwaffen is in the American armed forces. I'm saying that there was an Atomwaffen version within the German armed forces, and they had to disband the entire unit because they were just straight up Nazis. There's also the Reichsbürger plot, which was pretty funny. The monarchists trying to overthrow the government. This is terrifying shit, bro.
Since
I love that the most consequential part in the eyes of centrists is AFD's opinion on Russia.
the start of 2024, it's been one political scandal after another for the far-right Alternative for Germany and its party leadership. One thing in particular seems to be tripping up the AFD. its affinity for Russia and President Vladimir Putin's government. In focus is Maximilian Krah. He's the AFD's top candidate for the European elections in June. But the AFD's leadership has banned him from making any more public campaign appearances. Why? Krah has hit the headlines over multiple scandals lately. In a recent newspaper interview, he commented that not all members of the SS were criminals. Under Adolf Hitler, the SS paramilitary organization was significantly involved in the murder of 6 million Jews and other groups targeted by the Nazis.
Bro, Germany had one law, which is that you specifically can't say this, okay? Like, that's pretty much the most important and most consequential, most significant law that Germany has that deviates away from, like, all these other countries. Why isn't he in jail? Like, I don't get it. I thought this was a law. Like, any kind of Nazi adjacent, any kind of sentiment demonstrating, like, some support for Nazis is just not allowed. I don't get it.
Krah's comments led to accusations that he was minimizing the Holocaust. At the same time, public prosecutors in Krah's home state of Saxony have opened preliminary investigations against him over allegations that he accepted illegal payments from Russia and China.
If you believe that this is the end of my candidacy, then I have to disappoint you. I am the lead candidate.
It gets worse for the AFD. The party's number 2 candidate in the European election campaign is suspected of corruption. Member of the German Bundestag, Peter Bustron. And again, there's a connection with Russia. Investigators searched Bustron's office and apartment over suspected links to a Kremlin campaign to spread pro-Russian disinformation. It was allegedly orchestrated by Putin confidant and oligarch Viktor Medvedchuk, seen here in the center. On the left, Maximilian Krah, who was also in touch with Medvedchuk. The oligarch is said to have bribed European politicians with hundreds of thousands of euros. Following the accusations against him, Piotr Bustron is now no longer campaigning for the AFD. The alternative for Germany...
Bro, this is crazy. It's like, that has been a more consequential burden for the AFD than the Nazi thing. They should both be consequential. I'm losing my mind. All of this breathless reporting for a 15.9% vote share, bro, bro, you cannot undermine the rising tide of fascism in Germany. Come on. We are not 100 years even removed from it. That's crazy. It has not even been a century yet. It has not been a century since the last time this happened, and people were like, well, they're in second place. It's fine. No, man, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, nah, this is not that scary. It's fine. That's crazy. I once again must repeat, we are not 100 years removed from this exact same thing happening. It's literally 90 years ago. And it's especially scary. It's especially scary and especially consequential because it is happening in a post-Holocaust world. It is happening in a post-Nazi Germany defeat world. So, like, there is a direct example that you can point to and be like, yo, the last time this shit happened, things did not go well. There are still people alive that fought the Nazis? Exactly.
Frau Friedländer, Sie waren 12 Jahre alt, als die Nazis an die Macht gekommen sind. Und jetzt sind Sie 102 Jahre alt und Sie müssen miterleben, wie Antisemitismus wieder steigt in Deutschland, wie einige sogar darüber reden, deutsche Staatsbürger ausweisen zu wollen. Was empfinden Sie heute in Deutschland?
Ja, es macht mich sehr, sehr traurig, die ganze Geschichte. Ich hätte es nie gedacht, dass es wieder so kommen würde. Denn so hat es ja damals auch angefangen.
Yeah, this is different. Surely the Nazis didn't win in democratic elections. Yeah, surely. Surely there was no liberal capitulations to the Nazi party. You also have to factor in the momentum of the AFD and the momentum of Le Pen too in France. Their growth has been relatively fast. The speed and momentum in which they have like actively become a power player is making things even more terrifying, while you also simultaneously have to recognize that there are already allies to their cause in positions of power in other European nations, whether it be Viktor Orban in Hungary or Meloni in Italy or Geert Wilders in the Netherlands. Like, you have people in Europe in positions of power right now. You have the Tories in the UK, which is not EU, but still European, like Nigel Farage, the Tories, like all of these right-wing or far-right parties are getting more prominence every single fucking day. Meloni is not the granddaughter of Mussolini, but Mussolini's granddaughter is in Meloni's party. Meloni was just a fascist and is still a fascist.
He seems to have lost control of the scandals. The party has been cultivating a closeness to Russia and the Putin regime for years. That's a common theme among Germany's far right, including for Björn Höcke, one of the AFD's most prominent voices. Höcke leads the party in the state of Thuringia, where he wants to become Germany's first AFD state premier. Höcke is among the AFD's most extreme politicians. He rejects globalization, diversity, and LGBTQ+ rights. Like many in his party, he sees Russia as an ally in the fight against progressive politics, often derided as wokeness. In Russia, Putin is cracking down on liberal social groups, such as the LGBTQ+ movement.
Whether you want to hear it in the mainstream media or not, today Russia is not only a country which prompts negative associations, but also one that some people hope could be a champion for a world of free and sovereign states without hegemonic influence.
Why does the AFD draw hope from authoritarian Russia? One factor is their common enemy, the liberal West, says German historian Gerd Köhnen.
Russia seemed and still seems to be the antithesis to an overpowering Western world, which doesn't align with many of our traditional German values.
Oh, there's plenty of traditional German values that are aligned with there's a lot of traditional German values that modern day Russia is perfectly aligned with. Okay, I would say most of the traditional German values that the rest of the world knows, you know, the forward facing ones, modern day Russia is very much aligned. Oh yeah, they're like, we love that shit. We invented our version of it, actually.
That's something Putin can use to his advantage.
But ideological proximity to Putin is increasingly becoming a burden for the AFD. One reason for that is Russia's war in Ukraine. Officially, the AFD is against the war, but its politicians repeatedly play down Russia's role as the aggressor. Instead, they repeat narratives from Russian propaganda.
We must never forget, the war in Ukraine is above all in Washington's interests.
Hamburg AFD politician.
I think a lot of people forget that, like, this is also populism, as in this is a relatively successful method of gaining more people onto your side. It's also backed by, obviously, like, Russian influence, Russian money, and beyond that, like, it's a perfect way to add to your arsenal. If you're a German politician, let's say, and or rather, you're a German person and you're seeing your energy prices go up, and some German politicians are like, why the are we like giving so much money to Ukraine? Why are we doing this? Oh, it's because of America. And meanwhile, we're like fighting against the energy provider for us. Well, that sucks. What I mean is, and this isn't to say that like Russia is in the right here, they're not. What I'm trying to say is that they can use this as a populist message, even if people don't care about the right-wing aspect, even if people do not care about the actual invasion, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, even if people don't care about the Russian positions. This is a successful strategy of being like, we are the only alternative that will actually look for peace. They basically use leftist language in that regard.
Olga Peterson has even gone as far as praising Putin's re-election as free and fair. That election took place without Putin's harshest critic, Alexei Navalny. After years of political persecution, he died in unexplained circumstances in a Russian prison camp. He had survived a poisoning and numerous trials.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
And what does AFD top candidate Maximilian Krah think of Navalny? In 2021, when Navalny survived being poisoned, Krah called him a white-collar criminal and a racist.
There's nothing funnier than this guy calling another guy racist. Says you, motherfucker. What do you mean? He's not wrong, but okay, who cares? Bro, are you kidding me? You think that guy gives a shit about anti-Muslim sentiment? Are you kidding me? Bro, we're talking about the AFD, dog. Let me tell you something, okay? If he actually thought Navalny was with it, he would be defending him. Yeah, maybe he was glazing and we misunderstood. He's like, this guy, I reluctantly must admit that he has all the right ideas about Muslims. AFD does care a lot about anti-Muslim sentiment. They love it. Exactly.
He is treading a fine line with its closeness to Russia. On the one hand, it wants to score points and win votes in Germany. It claims to be an anti-war, pro-peace party. But amid the many scandals, the party is losing its most important partners in the European Parliament, like France's Marine Le Pen and her National Rally Party, for example. She no longer wants to form a coalition with the AFD in the EU Parliament. The AFD seems too extreme even for other right-wing extremists.
It's good that like everyone's pro-Israel though, you know what I mean?
In Europe.
Yeah, man, would you know it? There's a little bit of fascist infighting happening. All right, let's get to some funny shit. Okay, well, we talked about Le Pen. Who said that Germany's reunified? This is yesterday's electoral map with West Germany black, the color of Christian Democrats, East Germany blue, the color of the quasi-fascist AFD, the result of 20 years of social democratic green austerity and Die Linke's taming. Quasi-fascist, disappointing that you're falling for propaganda on us. AFD wants peace in Ukraine, which has caused them to be labeled fascist. No, that's not the reason that they've been labeled fascist. They've been labeled fascist because they're fascists. And it's not like they're hiding it. Like, if Germany didn't have such anti-free speech rules, okay, against that sort of thing, they would just be flying the swastika. The only reason why they can't say that they're fascists is because they'll go to jail. And as we found out, some of them do say that they're fascists and still don't go to jail. A lot of the founding members of the AFD literally left the party because they were getting too extreme right-wing for the right-wingers. Love that these guys would be like, no, AFD isn't fascist, but the Nazis were definitely so socialist. Sharp intake of breath. First poll taken after Macron called snap elections with seat projections. Hung parliament majority threshold 289 out of 577 seats. Big gains for Le Pen's RN, but not majority. Big losses for Macron's Central Alliance Ensemble. Okay, very good. It's great. We're cooked. Turn BMW and Mercedes back into a spoon manufacturer. Great times ahead. Oh yeah, no, for sure. Things are definitely looking good. It's also much better that there is no socialist alternative. Like at least there was a counterbalance back in the day with the USSR and like trade unionist movements, socialist movements in general. And yet now there is no counterbalance at all. You have like China, but not really. Barely. What is this? As a right-wing person, I can say that Europe took a massive W. Yeah, dude. Remember last time that happened, dude. Far-right recruits by telling disaffected people, look, see how everyone's talking about us? We are powerful. Join us and you can be powerful too. I think the media solely focusing on far-right election contributes to their recruiting. People think they're winners and a lot of people join parties because they're the winners. No, dude. You're close, but you're wrong. The far-right recruits by telling disaffected people, not by saying, look, they're afraid of us because we're powerful. They get disaffected people to join because they go, look, no one addresses your material conditions. I do. You want to know how we fix the problem? We purge the brown people. We kick them out of the country. They're different. They're weird. They don't speak your language. They don't understand your culture. Let me rebuild a sense of superiority. Is it illegal to be right-wing? No, but it is illegal to not be subscribed to the top of the hour because you will see a 3-minute ad break. Look how scary the Browns are. They're Muslim. They don't understand our superior way of life, our existence. They're ruining the country. They're ruining the country with their food. They're ruining the country with their music. They're ruining the country with the crime that they do. And it's a rinse and repeat strategy everywhere around the world where right-wing sentiment thrives. So that is precisely the situation.